Hello there everyone! Today we have a fairly different vibe here in the channel because we are going on some paranormal investigation today. Messages at this time. In any case, like I was saying, today is special because we are going to revisit the origin of the survival horror experience. We are going to be playing the original Alone in the Dark for the DOS operating system. Yes, it's that old. This is the first game I ever played on PC. It hooked me incredibly. It blew my mind. It's one of the most important games in my life. And when I heard they were remaking this game, I couldn't believe it was happening. Like, wow. And with the protagonist being David Harbour, an actor that I really like, all the better. So I have been dying to play that game. So if we finish with the original Alone in the Dark, we are gonna go straight into that one, and that's gonna be a blind playthrough, which is kind of rare in the channel so far. I think only Deltarune has been a blind playthrough. So here comes a new one. In any case, let's get this started. It's a little complicated to start because of audio issues, so give me a second. These old games, am I right? If it's too loud, let me know. Oh, speaking of which, hold on a second. Okay, we're ready to begin. I want to play them back to back in order to compare what is different and what's the same in both games. Oh, we get to choose character. It doesn't make much difference gameplay-wise, just the player model. However, in lore, each one has their own reason to be in the mansion. To the left, we have Emily Hartwood, which is the cousin of the person we are investigating. And to the right is Edward Carnby, which is a detective tasked with investigating the mansion. I'm gonna click on both of them so we get the introduction to both. And the funny thing is that Carnby's backstory doesn't tell you much, but by listening to Emily's story, you get a couple of clues on how to get started. Actually, it's interesting. And the second thing that I noticed is that the game has voice acting. All the way back then, when I was a kid and I played this thing, it didn't have voice acting. I probably something with the audio configuration, I guess. So let's hear to the backstory of each of these characters.
The attorney's letter came as a deep shock to me. My Uncle Jeremy had died by his own hand. The coroner's report was unequivocal. He hanged himself in the loft. Initial surprise and distress past, I considered the news. It seemed clear that Derceto had exercised a thoroughly morbid influence on my uncle's mind. That creaking old mansion with its unusual tales, its secret library door, the ancient upstairs clock, all those occult books that my uncle could not resist reading in spite of his fragile nerves.
So just in this paragraph, we get some important information, like the secret passage in the library, the clock upstairs that is important, and the occult books. There is something about those books that you can read in the game.
Fate had pointed its finger. Derceto had trapped its prey. Mr. McCarthy, the family lawyer, suggested selling the old house. I immediately opposed the idea. My duty is clear. I must go to Derceto. I tremble at the thought of those dark corridors, those brooding portraits. Yet I am convinced that Uncle Jeremy left a note, a letter of some kind explaining his fateful decision. I remember his voice saying, "Look at the piano, Emily. Look harder. Maybe the secret drawer will yield up an explanation. I have the feeling things will not be so simple. Life is a mystery containing more mysteries. Jeremy taught me that much."
So, this is something I noticed because I already played like 10 minutes of the game to ensure that it's working properly on my system. And it's about the voice acting. If you listened right now, when Emily is remembering the voice of Mr. Hardwood, it sounds like she's making an old man's voice. And when you are Carnby and you read the letter that Hardwood left, the voice is completely different, which obviously is really a thing of an oversight, I suppose. But in lore, it can be attributed to the fact that Emily knew Mr. Hardwood while Carnby is just imagining how he would sound.
Now is the time to confront the mysteries. Derceto is waiting for me. I pray that my fear is nothing more than the fruit of my imagination. Nothing will ever persuade me that my uncle was insane. But why did he, according to the police report, block the loft window with the old wardrobe?
This is another critical clue. It's telling you here that the uncle blocked the window in the loft for some reason. I'm pretty sure that 99% of the players, the first time they play, they completely disregard this warning. The other thing I noticed is that, because I played like 10 minutes of both games, of course, like I said, to check that they are working, there is an initial monologue as well with this character in the remake, and it's the complete opposite. In this game, she says that nothing can persuade her that the uncle was insane. And in the new game, it's the complete opposite. She says that insanity runs in the family, so that's one change I can notice immediately. So now, about Carnby.
On my door, a dull brass plate says Private Detective. The few friends I have call me Carnby. The others call me the Reptile. I don't care to think what my banker calls me. These days, I leave my letters unopened. Bills and threats to send in the receivers just ruin my day. When an antique dealer called Gloria Allen contacted me, I slipped into my best shirt, holstered my .38, and got to her shop as fast as I could. I was expecting something sordid. Blackmail, probably. Boy, was I wrong. What I was asked to do was visit a property called Derceto and find a piano in the loft. It was an old piano with secret drawers. The kind people who buy stuff in antique stores go crazy over. The Derceto house is supposed to be piled high with classy junk. Furniture, books, paintings. It looked like whoever owned Derceto was about to get cleaned out. I was going to bring up the subject of money when Gloria Allen handed me $150 and a key. I kept myself from grinning at the thought of my banker's surprise. He doesn't like his victims getting away. I looked over a copy of the police report. The former owner of Derceto, a guy called J. Hartwood, had hanged himself in the loft. The coroner concluded it was a clear-cut case of suicide. I promised Gloria Allen I'd give the place a look over. My report will be ready in a couple of days. I've been reading up on the history of the old house. It's the kind of place ghosts run away from in terror. Grisly murders, curses, lunacy. Luckily, devil worship makes me smile, so this is my idea of a paid vacation.
Little did you know, Mr. Carnby. So as you can see, if you choose this character, you don't get any clues about anything. So we could say that Emily is the easy difficulty and Carnby is the hard difficulty, maybe. So I'm gonna go with Carnby. We get a random frog. You get a little tour of the house, so you are not completely disoriented when you begin. Look at that handsome man. And we get to the loft. Now I need to act fast, so I will do the explanation afterwards. But just like you heard in the beginning, make sure to block the window. First thing you do. And the other other one is not explained, but also block the trapdoor with the chest, because monsters really start attacking from the get-go. Hello, Master Splits. Oh really? Is that actual lore? So, okay. Oh, well, let's wait for the monster in the window. So at some point, a monster is gonna try to enter through the window. There he goes. But we paid attention, so nothing happens. And now the trapdoor is gonna try to open. Are you there, buddy? Come on. There he comes. Well, okay. With the window and the trapdoor blocked, we are safe. I played the first 4 games, and I don't really remember much of the lore on Carnby himself. Alright, so movement. It's tank controls, just like Resident Evil. You can turn around, move forward, backward. In order to run, you just double tap forward. Although it's a bit hard to do sometimes. Come on, dude, run. There we go. Enter is your menu, and you have your actions like fighting. When you find monsters, you hold space and the direction keys. Open search is to interact with objects. We get a rifle. Push is the action I was using for moving these things. Space as well. And those are the basics of the game. You can inspect everything like these bookcases, you get a book. I am very impressed. I played this game close to 30 years ago, and it's so fresh in my mind. It's crazy. It really left an impression. Grab the lamp. If we open this closet we pushed, we can find a cover. And as we heard in the introduction, Emily was told to check the piano, and if we check the piano, here's the infamous letter from the owner of the house.
They are coming! I have freed hellish forces, and now the price must be paid. Derceto is the prey of evil. The sun has set. They will find my body, but will not have my soul. I can imagine the master's fury and the terror in the hearts of his slaves. I hear their footsteps. Some may understand what I have done. May God forgive me. Farewell, Jeremy Hartwood.
The voice acting is so over the top. When I was a kid, like I said, I played without voice acting, and I swear that it didn't sound anything like this in my head. Holy hell. This dude is folkloric, to say the least. So you have a limit on your inventory, so this leather that we no longer need, you can just drop it on the ground and go about your business. We can also take a look at the book we found.
Fragment of the Myth of the Golden Fleece. Translation, Edouard de Villeban.
Hesperides Publications.
Then Perseus came across Ichios, who had been turned into stone. He spoke to his companions and said, "Beware of the Medusa. He who looks into their eyes is doomed to the same fate as that which befell poor Ichios, and will never more set eyes on Seriphos." "Must we go blindfolded?" asked Eumolpus. "Take up your bronze shields and polish them until they flash in the sun," answered Perseus. "Fill your hearts with courage. May Artemis guide us as though we were an arrow from her quiver." But Eumolpus was not satisfied. "Why do that, Perseus? Is 3 inches of sharpened metal not enough to destroy these accursed creatures?" Then Perseus drew his sword, which shone and glittered in the sun, and with it he dazzled Eumolpus. "Now what can you see?" the companions of Zeus' sons laughed. "Let us set to work, so that our shields may shine like mirrors."
Yeah, my brother and I really like this. Obviously, it's for the emotional attachment of our childhoods, of course. But he had the project to recreate this mansion in Minecraft. He never completed it, but it was kind of cool. Maybe we will try again. So this book gives you a clue for later in the game. It tells you about using mirrors or mirror-like surfaces to destroy a monster, and that becomes relevant later. So I am not going to go through every book in this game because it has a lot of reading material. That's not very stream friendly. So I will only show you some of the interesting books. But this one is a clue for later. That's it. We may proceed. Back when I was a kid, English is not my first language. I mean, I'm sure people notice when I speak. So when I was a kid, I knew very little English. So in order to play this game, I had a physical dictionary. Yes, a book. Those that we don't see anymore. But I had a dictionary on my side all the time because I had to read a lot of books. And I think actually that helped me a lot in developing my English. So we are really ready to proceed. Down the stairs we go. We're going to pick up the bow. And we check this piece of furniture here. We can get an oil can. Yeah. Stupid bot. So that's all here. So the oil can is for the lamp, which now has 0 units of oil if you use it. Now the oil lamp has 50 units of oil. Now we can drop this. I'm going to save my game. Okay, let me see if it's saving correctly because I didn't test this. Seems like it's okay. Okay, so here's a bit of a warning. This game has a lot of instant kills and a lot of moments that you can simply end up in an unwinnable situation. This is, for example, one. You see that the floor looks kind of funny. And while Carnby could pass perfectly fine on his way to the attic, you cannot go through here again. And it's funny how that hole in the floor leads to the void apparently or something, even when there should be another floor right below. So yeah, haunted indeed. So instead we need to check these rooms. And in this one, if you step on the carpet, a monster is gonna spawn. So what I used to do is to just walk around the carpet and you don't have to worry. Check, there's nothing there. And here we have a key. Chest is locked. The key belongs to this chest. And we can take the Saber. I'll go here for a little bit. I'm going to drop the key that we no longer need. Now another trick that you can do, as soon as you enter the next room, a monster is going to spawn behind you, here in the hallway. So I'm going to prepare the close action. And I'm going to immediately close the door. Because zombies are unable to open doors in this game. Now in the next room comes our first encounter with a monster. So I'm going to save again. And I'm going to prepare my rifle. If you're fast enough, maybe you can avoid it, but I wouldn't trust it. Oh no, 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 that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, you can see the zombie walking against the door outside. So I'm gonna take the base and I'm gonna get ready. No, 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 that's bad. Come on. Come at me, bro. Okay. And that's how that works. Now, if we try to open this drawer, it's locked, it's gonna say. So the key is inside the base. We leave the shards, but we take the key. Use the key. And we get mirrors. So this is what the book was talking about. I'm going to drop the key and move forward. Hello, dude. How are you doing? It's funny because I could shoot him with the rifle from here. And here in the bathroom you can find a first aid kit in case you had trouble with the monsters. And the way these work is that you open them and they contain a flask. The case can be dropped. And you don't have a maximum of hit points. From those you mentioned, I recognize the Spencer Mansion, the Salazar Castle, and House Dimitrescu, of course. But the other two I do not. So you don't have a limit on health points. You start with 20, but I can just drink the flask right now. And I will have 30. So I can drop the flask. Whoa! Oh, he's going back. Have a good one, Mr. Zombie. Oh, actually, the Fatal Frame games, I have seen them, but I have not played them. So, this guy is here. This game is heavily inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's stories. And these guys here are supposed to be nightgowns. And the way to defeat them is with the mirrors. And here is where you can screw up your game and not even notice. For example, I can go to this guy and I'm going to strike him and he will try to attack. Whoa, 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 careful. So this achieves nothing. You cannot defeat them with punches. But what can happen is this. Do you hear that noise? If you get hit while you are carrying the mirrors, they can break. And automatically this game is over. Because you need the mirror to proceed, and now it's broken. And the game doesn't tell you. You can be puzzled about what you did wrong, and the game is not gonna tell you. You're simply screwed. So I need to load my game and avoid that from happening. So you place the mirror here. We move on. Oh, Code Veronica is actually the one Resident Evil I haven't played from the classics, curiously enough. So, that's for real. In this game, you can screw up your game and not know and wander for hours. And the game won't have the mercy of informing you. So, what's in here? A notebook? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I am screwed. Wow, that was really bad. Yeah. Well, actually, back in the day, 150 was a lot of money. This game happens in the 1930s, I think. Okay, So that guy dealt a lot of damage. Oh, I don't remember if there's anything important here. Let's see.
September 27th, 1924.
Never have the dreams haunted.
I have decided to keep this. Some, seeing my recent paintings, may question my sanity. I can only ask them, what is sanity? Where does madness begin? September 28th, 1924. The night is pitch black. I am again.
Nothing important,
It
really.
seized me. I struggled to break free of its loathsome embrace. October 5th, 1924.
This.
The stone circle is a pentacle. Derceto's library is filled with books on the occult. I will study those books until I find some explanation for the dreams. The visions that haunt me must be connected to my discoveries. I shall have to undertake a profound exploration of my dreams.
Okay, so the pentacle is important later.
December 16th. Dear God, I have found the knife. It was hidden here, and what I have learned fills me with apprehension. It is a sacrificial dagger belonging to some unholy cult. The thought of that blade tearing through human flesh horrifies me, yet I must continue my research. Derceto is a storehouse of treasures. Was my father right, after all? January 23rd. I spend all my days plunged in dusty books. The servants are convinced I am mad. At night, I awaken them with my screams. The dreams are draining what sanity I still have. I have tried staying awake, but in vain. My visions have changed. No doubt the influence of my father's research. February 7th, 1925. The Dark Man, that is what I call him, has revealed his true face to me. He appeared, as usual, near the fireplace, but this time he approached me. His terrible smile will haunt me to my dying day. His breath was ice and his burning eyes froze me. I could not move. I know, as surely as I have ever known anything, that the face I saw, the face that has turned my nights into hellish torture, is the mask of death. March 10th. My exhaustion is beyond description. The endless reading burns my eyes. It seems that pirates frequented the area. Dr. Herbert insists I keep to my bed. I have moved to another bedroom and sleep much better now. The Dark Man has not gone, however. I know it. He will wait for as long as he must. Unless I, Jeremy Hartwood, can find a way to send him back to whatever hell he comes from. March 11th.
Oh, this is a long
My
one.
poor knowledge of Greek and Latin is a serious handicap to my reading. I have, nevertheless, made a great step forward. I drew the symbol on the floor. He can no longer go there. I want him to understand that I can do the same thing in my bedroom.
Okay, so this talks about a protective symbol on the floor, although it doesn't mention where it is.
I can imagine his rage and frustration. Only last night he found his way back into my dreams. March 13th. The translation will seriously dent what money I have left. I cannot paint. My pictures are clearly the work of a lunatic. The collector Thornhill's embarrassed smile was proof of that. March 29th. He has come back. He found the door to my dreams. I am too weary to attempt any defense. I have no strength left to fight, and he knows it. He considers me dead already. Could I possibly? March 30th. How ironic! The cave my father sought for so many years is here, beneath the house. Waits. The butler discovered a crack in the cellar wall. A breeze blows in through it, icy and repugnant. I am filled with horror at the thought of my father dying in this place. I will carry to my grave the vision of his face contorted in the agony of that fatal heart attack. His body was twisted. He had wept. His fingernails were torn and bloody from scrabbling at the floor. Dr. Gray concluded that death had been due to a heart attack. It was Waits, who some time later was informed that my poor father had in fact bitten off his tongue and choked on his own blood. March 31st. I explored the caverns in a dream. The dark man came with me. Strangely, I felt almost well. How can I describe what I saw? No. What words are capable of explaining such evil? I realized that my death was of no interest to him. The dark man wants something else. He seeks a body. His avid servants are now free. I am the cause. It is almost funny. A curse is on Derceto. From the foundations to the very rooftop. I can no longer struggle, let alone eradicate the evil that grips the house. The end is very near. I can feel it. I have taken the decision to... May he who finds this diary pray for my soul.
Okay, so this notebook, funnily enough, talks about the events that led to the suicide of Jeremy Harwood. But there are some interesting tidbits there, because it's not made clear in that text. It only mentions that they said that his father died from a heart attack, but in reality he bit his tongue. I read elsewhere, and that elsewhere is the wiki, that what really happened is that he was being possessed or controlled and taken down to the caves, and in desperation, since he couldn't control himself, what he managed to do was to bite his own tongue to kill himself and not allow himself to be taken, which is very, very interesting story. And now we will get here and we have a bathroom. This one is a funny one, because there is a monster in the bathtub that you can come and slap, and before it's ready to attack you can slap it again. And you get out. That's the most useless monster in the house. So we have another one of these. Thank you, because that dog or whatever it is beat the crap out of me. I'm gonna drop it. And this room is in the dark, so we can't do much there until we have the lamp working. And here's a corridor. And spoiler alert, we are definitely not ready for this one. So I don't know if it's said anywhere, but the point is that these paintings are haunted. If you try to move through the corridor, this guy attacks you and basically kills you without you being able to do anything. So the way to avoid that is to use the cover we found earlier. And that way he can't see you. And these paintings here are actually kinda interesting if you know what you're looking for. This one especially. I like when you have things in the game or movie that you don't know what they mean until later on. Like there's a revelation at some point. We can come in here. And there's a few important items here. Here we find shells for the rifle, but it looks more like it's a shotgun actually. Use them, and you have 8 new rounds for the rifle. You can pick up the gramophone. Leave the poker, but I will take the matchbox. The revolver is in the kitchen actually. It's funny because in the introduction, Carnby says that he has a revolver, but we don't get to see it here. Oh my god, how am I going to go here without... This is so bad. No, the revolver is in the kitchen. That's where you find it. Okay, so this ghost. The reason why I went here very carefully is because if you touch the ghost, it gets angry and it's basically game over. Like this. Run, Forrest, run! Oh, I forgot. It can't chase you through stairs. Yeah, exactly, actually. Where are you, Ghost? Oh, it's taking its time. Hello? Oh, it got stuck. Here it is. And if it touches you, it's game over. So yeah, but the problem there is that Carnby took it to go and see the person that hired him, but apparently he underestimated the work at the mansion and maybe he didn't take it there. But yeah, you start the game completely unarmed. The revolver you find is not Carnby's revolver, is some revolver they had around here. So we have a matchbox now. That means we can use the oil lamp. So we can go and check this room that was dark. Use the matchbox and the oil lamp is on. Oh wait, you cannot use open search, so what I'm gonna do is drop the lantern and it illuminates. Nothing important. Let's leave the lamp a little bit. The statue is important later. Oh, and here we have some bullets actually. And now we can take the lamp with us. It's funny how you can see the monster in the tube moving when you pass through. Silly tube monster. So, like I said, oh, I remember this glitch. So, like I said, I'm not gonna read every book, but the clues for every puzzle you can find are in the books. Like this statue here, this statue is alive. If you approach it, it's gonna attack you. And it's completely invulnerable, except to one thing. The very heavy statuette. Take that, you piece of shit. And we get a sword. Yeah, you can stay there. Take a look at what's this book about.
A Brightness from Afar by Lord Boleskine, an account of his celebrated voyage to New England, 1824, Alistair Publications, came.
Following a splendid journey, the sunny harbour. Upon the promise of a few coins, a child is undertaken to reveal to one a most prodigious phenomenon of a natural order. One is...
Okay, there's not... Like I said, let's just not take too much time with the books. There is a lot of reading in this game. But I'm gonna drop this. I'm gonna also drop the gramophone for a little while. Oh, I didn't get rid of the... Oh, that's huge. Of the first aid kit, let's drop this thing here. And let's go in here. Pretty statue. If we search this, we will find arrows for the bow. And we need to get the hell out of here. Because those spiders, you can't get rid of them. I love how the spider is guarding the door. Looking at you like, hey, come on buddy. You just wanna play. Here we can check. Another matchbox we don't need. And here we find knives, but I have a sword, I don't need knives. Uh-oh. Ah, we can use the sword now. Aha! I love the hitting sound in this game. It's so satisfying. This is a sword, right? Yes. So here we get another oil can. We can use it and drop it. And our lamp has how much? 99. And here in this pile of coal is that we find the box of shoes that contains the revolver actually. There we go. Now, this water here, we can use the jug. And we can actually drink it. Oh wait, no. It's... Eat drink. Stagnant water. I'm probably gonna have an infection or disease. So I'm gonna drop the empty shoebox. What do we have? Sword. Okay, everything I have right now is useful for something. He should have indeed. So here we get a key. And a box of biscuits. This game has a lot of boxes that you have to drop everywhere. So we'll eat the biscuits. And we drop it. And the last item of interest in the kitchen is the pot of soup. Which, if you try to eat, you notice it's human flesh. So, well, to be fair, in the second game, Carnby actually comes with a revolver from the very beginning. Also in the fourth game, and I think in the third one as well. I don't remember that one as well, but I think too. So yeah, I guess Carnby eventually learns the lesson. So who cares about a pot of soup with human flesh? Zombies, of course. Dinner's ready. See? They are civilized. I guess I could check this. In here, nothing. Not this one, right? I don't remember where the key for this thing is, but we will see. Oh. Oh, pirate. Let's not mess with the pirate just yet. So the key from the kitchen is for the cellar. And spoiler alert, there's not much to do in the cellar. I'm gonna take a look anyways. I see some bullets there in the background. Let's see if I can take them. Oh, this is really funny actually. Have you ever kicked rats like that? Those are some really tough rats. So I'm going to unlock this for later. That's the path to the caves that was mentioned in the diary. But we really can't go there. In fact, hold on. I'm gonna show you what happens if you try to go there. When I was a kid, I was beyond terrified of the worm. So yeah, that's why we don't go into the hole. Yep, it's instant kill. This game is full of instant kills. They are everywhere. So, let's check this. This is
The trial of Captain Preggst, as reported by his faithful companion Elisha Smith, known amongst his fraternity by the awful name of Captain Ellie Hell.
So this is the story of the main antagonist, Captain Ezekiel Preggst, which is the pirate we saw in...
Transcribed from the log found aboard the wreck of the frigate Astarte by H. Hartwood.
By all the devils! Roared Preggst, glaring at William, the judge. Curse it, Will! It'll take much more than every cannon in the blasted navy to make me change me mind. You're the greatest blackguard that ever joined our fraternity. Am I not Preggst, captain of the Astarte and bloodiest villain in all the seven seas?
Well, that depends. If you play Resident Evil 3 on easy, Jill gets an assault rifle. Let's drop the lock. And I will drop the key to the cellar. So you might say, well, why don't we just leave the house? Well, it's not that simple. Like I said, instant kills are everywhere in this game. So let's not do that. And let's get back upstairs. So here is yet another way to soft lock the game. Just like the guy throwing axes behind me, at the very end you can see an Indian that shoots arrows at you. If I go any further, yeah, the asshole starts throwing arrows, and if you saw, they are guided. Okay? And the only way to kill the Indian is with arrows. And you only get 3 of them. If you fail with all 3 arrows, you cannot beat the game. And the game doesn't tell you. You can go wander around the house for 2 hours thinking there is something you can do, and in reality you are screwed. So yeah, old games were hardcore. They didn't really care about telling you you are screwed. And the funny thing about the Indian is that you can use the bow, but you can also throw them with your bare hand. Carnby is really good at throwing stuff. Like this. Wow, that's not at all what I wanted to do. Let's try again. Holy hell. And I failed. That doesn't really look like where I'm aiming. Holy hell. That's closer. Oh, it worked. Never mind. And the funniest thing is that if you use the bow, the arrow is lost. But if you merely throw it, you can recover it. Oh, hello, yeah, I will be here for, what? About 3 or 4 more hours. So, okay, I'm gonna pick up whatever I need from the place, the fake book. See you later. Thank you for coming by. Push the clock. And there is some secret here. We get a key and a parchment. Now, since I don't need the arrows anymore, I'm gonna drop them here. Drop the arrow. Wait, there is no room. Put them here. I'm not gonna come back to this room. Because it's important to not be over encumbered when you really need to pick something up. There should be more. Oh, these paintings. I think that the one to the left is the dark man described in the diary. So another silly thing about the game is that you can use the bullets and they will go on the revolver. We have 12 bullets in the revolver now. And I can use the other ones, and now we have 18 bullets in the revolver. There is no limit. So let's take a look at the parchment. That looked important.
The Creatures of Night by Hubertus the Bald. Translated from Latin by his brother in prayer, Fratre Johann Marcus.
Of monstrosity. You who read me know that night engenders monsters and that night creatures exist. The accursed book of Abdul al-Hazred is clear on this matter. That is not dead which can eternal lie. Unhappy he who knows that book.
So fans of H.P. Lovecraft should know who Abdul al-Hazred is. and what the book we are talking about is. And that quote should be familiar as well.
Unhappy he whose eyes alight upon that foulest of texts. Unhappy he who implores the standing stones, for he will free the powers of darkness, of the pit. Stagnant waters are like the memory of men. Beneath the surface calm, clawed beasts await and are known to initiates as the deep ones. Awaiting his prey, the deep one seizes him and drags him down to the abyss, where Dagon, the cruel god, swims and reveres him whose name may not be pronounced. Of libraries, unhappy he who frees the prowler. Unhappy he who meets the prowler erring among the books. He generates the vagabond that comes from other spheres. He believes the vagabond does not exist.
So this is a relevant one. The vagabond is a monster we are about to meet.
He will feel the embrace of death, for in the eyes of the vagabond, books are no more than dreams, stone no more than wind. The vagabond knows how to take the breath of the reckless. Of strife, he who speaks does not know, and believes he is able to kill the creatures of the night. Folly. Evil is conjured up by science and secrecy.
Wow, and we don't have any more voice acting.
He who prowls among books will perish by the blade. He who flies in the dark caverns will scream in fear. He who swims in the depths will evaporate. But he who believes he knows, knows nothing. He who knows says nothing. Of death. There are domains more terrible than death. That is not dead which can eternal lie. Each creature is conjured up and is not dead, but returns to the origins. A monster, a science. Steel kills the vagabond who never dies. Translator's note. Here ends the manuscript of Hubertus, who died in the library of the convent of Terra.
Okay. So a lot of talk about the vagabond. It's a fake book. Like, if it wasn't obvious. Okay, so, Killers of the Night. We're gonna drop this one. And that's it. So this is the library, which is in darkness. And I think we can go in there. Now, here we get a lot of books, but there's this monster here. This weird thing made of polygons that is the vagabond, actually. But we can use the fake book here to open the secret passage that was mentioned in Emily's introduction. And here we have the talisman, the stone pentacle that was mentioned for protection. And here there are a dagger, 3 different daggers, a few parchments, a few books. So, let's take a look, shall we?
The Book of Yael, Signs of Stone, Eucharistic Rituals of Forbidden Cults. Text.
Numerous devilish cults speak of monstrous creatures called the Old Ones. These supernatural beings are believed to be possessed of powers equivalent to those of the gods of antique religions. Adepts of such cults refer to forbidden literature in order to cause these frightful entities to appear before them. What serious student of folk myths has not come across the names of Cthulhu and Shub-Niggurath? It must be said that these creatures wield tremendous power and are difficult to control once they have been unleashed into the world. Those who serve He Who Goes in Shadows protect themselves with signs of stone, carved into the walls of houses or engraved on various objects.
Wait, excuse me. You're talking about Cthulhu and Shub-Niggurath, and you refer to them as difficult to control? Ha! Ha ha ha. Sure, pal. In any case, here the protective symbols of stone are mentioned.
For those misguided servants of evil, the best protection appears to be that afforded by the sign of the most ancient gods, engraved in Manar stone, a heavy material said to be disagreeable to the touch.
And we just saw this talisman. It's in our pocket.
The sinful practices of those who fall into such errors can only lead to the darkest of despair, and are a mortal danger to the soul. Such monsters as those invoked by these foolhardy individuals are engendered when reason drops its guard. Man is easily tempted into perversion. It is why we must forever remain alert and renounce Satan with each breath we take. His ways are infinite in number.
We're getting a mixture of Christianity and Lovecraft here. I didn't remember any mentions of Satan. But well, talisman important. Do not drop. Signs and rituals, we can drop it. What else? Another parchment.
The Sacrificial Dagger, Otto Stern.
The importance placed on ritual sacrifice is constant in religious cult practice. Propitiating the gods is a theme common to many religions. The Old Testament affords many examples. Primitive polytheistic belief systems integrate sacrifice in their rituals as part of the recurrent process of reaffirmation and, naturally enough, group cohesion. The members of their social and religious community come together in an act of purification and atonement. It would be erroneous to imagine the act of human sacrifice linking priest, offering, and God, cf. Manzetti stone cults, as anything less than a vital focusing of the group's faith. The act also ensures the continuing appeasement of the god, but only if practiced by a recognized officiating priest using the appropriate instrument. Studies made concerning primitive religious groups bear witness to the central role of sacrifice in living ritual. My own work in the field of ethnopsychology brought me into contact with a sorcerer living in the region of Arkham. he introduced me to the rite of steel, linked to a ceremony known as adoring the black goat of the woods with 1,000 youngs. The god being adored is known as the vagabond.
Okay, so the vagabond is the monster that is right outside this chamber, haunting the library. And the previous note we found told us that steel kills the vagabond. And here we are seeing about the rite of steel. So this must be the key to kill the vagabond. That's the assumption we are supposed to make.
Here, the dagger's roar, which allows the life breath to pass from one dimension to another, is essential. The vagabond is a frightening figure, being able to move where he wants and to kill those who have displeased the goat god, for whom he acts as a go-between. The goat is clearly a fertility god. The priest, having spoken the invocation, must choose the appropriate dagger for the sacrifice.
And we have 3 options of daggers that we just found.
The knife with a sinusoidal blade that must be dipped 7 times on night when the moon is full, in water that has been distilled 100 times, will be laid aside, since it would send the vagabond back into his own dimension. See illustration.
Simple as that. This twisted dagger is the one that sends him back. It's just as simple.
The priest will rather choose the dagger with a curved blade. That is more appropriate for slitting of the lamb's throat. This act transfigures the sorcerer priest and plunges the assembled worshippers into a divine trance.
So this curved blade is useless to us. We are not killing lamb. Alright. So we are gonna drop the information on the daggers, and we are gonna drop the daggers that we don't need. We don't need this one. And we certainly don't need this one. We can check this book really quick.
Juan Luis Jorge, De Biblioteca. Reflections on the power of the verb in certain texts.
Translation does not alter the occult power contained within such forbidden texts. The malevolent energy is in no way diminished. The spell must be cast aloud and clearly, in certain languages or little-known dialects. Maglafar Fathang. The reader will understand that, in the light of these revelations, I would be foolhardy to continue quoting from the text I have before me. If spoken aloud in its entirety, it would surely awaken powerful and malignant forces. I will go further and say that simple reading of some of the more technical passages describing specific practices is in itself a perilous exercise. The ill-prepared reader can easily fall prey to attacks of demented hysteria, not unlike those described in cases of individuals said to be possessed by evil spirits. I recommend the study made by Zempf, Urbain, Grandier, and Loudon, and the reports made by the Reverend Richard Price concerning a number of astonishing, to say the least, exorcisms carried out in a parish near Providence. Given what I have written, we must be grateful to the librarians of the British Museum, who have never allowed consultation of the work of Al-Azib's startling work, the infamous Necronomicon. Copies of that work do exist, in spite of the zeal of book-burning inquisitors. For proof, we need look no further than the British Museum, of course, and the sealed archives of the Miskatonic University in Arkham. Other examples of books whose evil can be unleashed by any thoughtless reader are von Jutz's von unersprechlichen Kulten and the abominable De Vermis Mysteries by Ludwig Prien, whose sordid death should be a lesson to all those tempted by a study of the occult.
Wow. When I was a kid, there were a lot of references that I didn't get. And here it is warning us about a series of books. The Book of Abdul, the Book of Al-Asif, the Burmese Mysteries. So it's basically telling you that you have to be careful with the books that you're reading. And some of those books we are going to find in this library. Alright. But before we can play with the books, we need to get rid of the spirit in the library. Now, you cannot use the lamp and the knife at the same time. Oh, why are you here? So what I recommend you to do is to go someplace more or less safe like here and drop the lamp so your hands are free. Now you take the dagger. Come on. And back to the abyss he goes. Now we can... Oh, I forgot. I gotta leave the lamp around here. And let's check. Well, we now have a few books. Alright, I think we can take our leave. And we are back at the front. Now let's see. This book here.
The Sons of the Sun and of the Shadows. Lieutenant Lope de Vega's account of his astounding travels to the land of the Aztecs.
This is the story that gives you the clue to use the statue on the armor suit.
Holy crap! As with the interprets, never drawing of Chalchihuitlicue by Dom Jose de la Sierra, done before the destruction of the Aztec temple of Tenochtitlan.
It tells a story about this statue that almost defeated a bunch of conquistadors. And it gives you the drawing of the statue that we found earlier. So you know that the statue is good against knights, I guess. That's the one, right there. So, where can I drop my excess baggage? Let's see if there's some more space here. Let's drop this one here. I think we are done. So, there is some things to do with the books, but I will leave that for a little later. We should have a key right now, right? Yes, we have a key. Now this is a study. Oh, it's not this key. Are you serious? Oh, I see. We can get in from here. The point is that in this room there is a cigar. And it deals a lot of damage. So what you need to do about this thing is to use the water jug. Yep, the cigar was possessed. Oh wow, we can see the pirate from all the way here. He's there just chilling and waiting. Have a recording and a book. Now the keys for this place. Let's see what's this about.
Memories by Alistair Boleskine.
It was during a conversation with G that one first heard of the New England fishing village of I. The area was apparently the ideal place from which to witness unusual phenomena in space. The quality of the air, along with the conjunction of several favorable factors, made one impatient to get started. Having gleaned what information one could from the British Museum, one set off with all haste.
The fishing village of I wonder if it's in smut.
One's work on space and comets in particular had met with a warm response.
Okay. It's probably not important. See if we can drop it here. What else? The key. Another record and another. Okay. So, the point of the saber we got at the beginning of the game. You can use it as a weapon, but if you do, it breaks because it's really old. The point of the saber is to use it here. Hold on. And it opens a secret passage. But we are not quite ready to go there. Let's check the book.
The Tale of Captain J.W. Norton of the Army of the Union.
Oh, actually, this has a clue about the cigar. But we already dealt with the cigar. Go there. Oh, we have the lighter now, so we can get rid of the matchbox. Yep, that's right. Power creep since 1992, I guess. Alright, now we can go and have a duel with the pirate, get rid of him once and for all. Hello, Mr. Pirate. Wait a second, I want to try something. It doesn't do much. But you can really just do this until he's cornered. Oh. Damn you. There you go. And you get a key. And we are in the ballroom with yet another record. Is this a book? Well, this door leads to the spiders. I don't want to go there, so... Well, I just beat the pirate. Check what's this about.
Daemonia particularis. Signs and rituals.
Sounds important.
The ritual of invocation demands that the officiant be pure. We have already described the complex operations to be followed in order to call those that sleep in superior dimensions. We shall, for the present, limit ourselves to the sign of mutual recognition used amongst their number by adepts of the cult of the Old Ones. The sign also serves as protection when in the presence of a servant of evil. The sign resembles a blessing, save that the first and little fingers are both folded beneath the thumb, whilst the second and third fingers are held up. It would appear that this sign has no effect on adepts of a certain rank with knowledge of particular secrets contained in the corpus demonicus. The use of such signs is not without considerable risk to the user during any attempt to call upon.
Well, that seems like a lot of nonsense that is just fluff. Alright, so let's drop it here. So now we're gonna take the gramophone. And let's try some of the records. So that's The Blue Danube by J. Strauss. Now, this music is really creepy. Wanna know why? It's called Chopin's posthumous opus. I have always skipped it. I haven't shown you what happens when you die. So, I guess we can go and check that. There's a few things I want to show you before we proceed. First, the books. I have been saving some books that I found in the library. The first one is this red book, and it's a very famous book.
Fragments of the Book of Abdul.
In the antique city of dead Relaya, Cthulhu dreams and waits. In the pit of time, the unspeakable lies in wait. That is not dead which can eternal lie. Relaya, your blocks of stone seal the ritual that gives birth to fear. Cthulhu Fatang! Cthulhu Fatang! Ayah! Ayah! Let he who knows how to invoke the stones act. It is time. Let the shadow of Cthulhu darken the sky. May the servitor of the black goat of the woods with 1,000 youngs sound his flute in honor of the unspeakable. Cthulhu Fatang! Cthulhu Fatang! Ayah! Ayah! May he who may not be named cast his withering gaze upon the unbeliever. For he is the door, the key, and the guardian of the door, and holds you now in his immense power.
So, this is the cursed book of Abdul, or well, fragments of. But as I showed you earlier, we read that incantations and spells, even when translated, still hold power. So what do you think is gonna happen when I close this book? And it deals you some damage. And you can read it again.
In May.
And there is the other book.
Ludwig Prien. De Vermis Mysteriis.
So, the Vermis Mysteries. This is one of the books that was called by name when we were reading about forbidden texts that we should be careful with.
Nomine invocatoris si non sanctificatus es cave. De vermis mysteriis non absolvo folem legendum fatum et eum versus. Tibi magnum innominandum signa stellarum nigrarum et...
The way the voice actor sounds here, it makes me feel like he had a lot of trouble pronouncing these words, and he did it oh so slowly, so carefully. But in any case, when you close this book, game over. The instant kills happen even when reading books. So the intended way to read these books is here in the secret area of the library. We read about the protective symbols on the ground. So if you stand right here, you can grab your book.
Fragments
In the may he who
And you are perfectly safe.
Ludwig Prien. Nomine in
Okay. So that's what the symbol on the ground does. It protects you from evil. Let's drop these books. And let's carry on. Now, I was telling you about this music that is playing right now, that is Chopin's posthumous opus. If you know what posthumous means, it means after death. So, let me show you what happens when you die, because I always skip it. Oh, never mind. I seem to remember that that music played, but... Of course not. Well, you know what? I'll be tempted. Alright. So there is a point to the records. I will drop the ones that we already used, the Blue Danube and the Posthumous Opus. And there is a third one that is called The Dance of Death. The name is Danse Macabre. And I love this music. I unironically have the MIDI of this music. And I have other versions because I really like it. So, there is a point to this particular record. I don't know if there is somewhere that this is mentioned, but the point is that if you use this record here, the ghosts start to dance. And they open the way to get that key over there. But you gotta be very careful because just like the sitting ghost in the fireplace, these also get angry if you touch them. So it's Dance Macabre that makes them dance. Now you need to leave this place in one piece. I'm dead. Oh no, I managed to do it. Okay. Dude. Oh, I'm screwed. I did it. No! Don't waste my time. Run! And they are gone. Now we have the key. Now, here comes more ways to soft lock your game. We need to go into the caves now. And there's a bunch of stuff that we need to go down there, and if you are missing any of the important things, it's pretty much game over even if you don't know it. We are gonna need this key, we are gonna need the lamp with oil. If you run out of oil, it's pretty much game over. We need a lighter, we need a talisman, and we have a few weapons. That should be enough. I'm gonna leave the bow. I'm still carrying the bow. Yes. The revolver with 18 bullets inside. It's a magical revolver. So I'm gonna leave the bow, and I'm gonna leave the rifle. The rifle has the problem that if you fall into water, the cartridges get wet and it becomes useless. So we are not gonna need it down there. The jug is not gonna be needed anymore. Okay. Sword is our main weapon. Ranged, the revolver. And that's that. I'm still keeping the dagger. So I think we are ready for our one-way trip into the caves. I am going to save the game. And let's go. There was other access to the caves through the cellar, if you remember, but the worm was over there, so we couldn't use it. Now we're gonna run. So that's why it's one way only. Yep, now we have a revolver. And there's the worm. So now we have someplace else to go. That sound was so scary for me. Saving in another slot because, well, there's no going back, as I said. And the worm is kind of stuck there. And if we go this way, we will find the entrance to the cellar, where I came from the house. So this is going to be our exit once we are done with our business. And it's funny that the worm can kill you from behind. So I can go right here. Oh, never mind, he can't. Oh, there it is. So we have to go this way. Whoa, 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 what are you doing? Whoa, 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 no, no. Get the hell out of here. I changed my mind. Okay, it's gone. Here you have to be careful because the deep ones start coming. Those little bridges fall down. Let's see if I can do something funny with you. Come on, dude, don't do this to me. I hate when this book happens. Shit. Well. Wasn't meant to be. Well, it's funny because if you throwing in this game glitches a lot, but if you manage to do it, it's funny because you throw something at it, it falls down, and you can beat the crap out of it with your fists. Okay, so let's see if I am able to. Oh, I forgot to tell you that. Yeah, here in the caves you have the new jump action. And there is a long way to go back, but I am gonna save us the trouble just by loading and trying again. Oh, damn you. Oh, that was close. Ah, only 1 point of damage. That's not a problem. Okay. So here we can find a completely optional monster. It's the mother of the spiders. Hello there. And it's completely invulnerable, but if you make her go back into the hole, it never comes back. Just be careful of not falling into the hole yourself. And that's a completely optional monster. You never have to enter there. It's just there. Now, one of the books that I completely ignored had the guide for this thing. The swords and the schools, I think, whether the others mean something. Oh. No! Damn it. Haha. Sure. No problem. And that's it. We are almost there. Just be careful not falling. And this is where we need that key from the ballroom. If we don't have it, we are screwed. A gem and a book.
Memoirs of a Lost Soul.
The mask must fall. You who discover this manuscript, understand this. I am here at your side. I am waiting in the darkness of my crypt. Soon you will belong to me. One of my slaves wrote this document. I have lived for 3 centuries, and my name is Ezekiel Prext, or Elijah Pickford. You may choose which to call me. I do not hide out of fear. My power is immense. I have sailed the 7 seas. My ship, the Astarte, spread terror through all the continents. The corsairs judged me like the Welsh judges of 1620, but they could not destroy me, and neither could the pirates. Now, I am immobilized. Damned Yankees! Witchcraft, voodoo, and the Cthulhu cult. I know them all. I have reigned and implored the stones. Only the Chthonian haunts the cavern and resists me, but he dare not attack. I have need of a living body to regenerate myself. The Heartwoods managed to escape from me, but you who are reading these words, you will yield to my embrace.
And that's why when you're defeated, you are taken to the altar. Ezekiel Prext wants your body to basically reincarnate. And that's it. The main villain is fully revealed at the very end to the game. We're about to finish. Here we push this thing. Hold on a second. I feel like I'm missing an item. Don't tell me that I screwed up at some point. Hopefully not. Alright, now this part is a little bit of anxiety inducing. Oh, the lamp is off. I need a lighter. There we go. because it's a huge maze in the dark, so you're basically on a timer. You need to find the exit before you run out of oil. Well, it goes completely black and good luck finding your way. Like, for example, if I put out the lamp, you have to navigate the maze like this, which is pretty much impossible unless you have an eternity to try. But without feedback of where you're going, you might as well be walking against a corner forever. So yeah, you need to find the exit before your oil runs out. Well, that wasn't too hard. And here he is. That over there is the final boss of this game. And right now we did it in about 2 hours, and that's counting that I am talking a lot and I am reading a lot. But when I was a kid, finishing this game took me weeks. I was coming and going through the stupid house because I had no idea of what I was supposed to do. A lot of things about this game, I made them seem easy, but they are kind of obscure if you don't have any clues. So this is what happens now. Oh no, it got me. Okay. Haha. Oh. So here we need a talisman of protection. Okay. So this place is familiar, of course. It's where they put you when you die. Right at the feet of Mr. Prex. Okay. So the way to defeat him is to stand right here in the altar, and you use the lighter to light the lamp and throw it at the tree. And that's it. That's a very powerful lamp, as you can see. The entire tree is gone in an instant. Yeah, this is the major screw up that I was talking about. Oh no, never mind. I have it. The hook is used to open this. And this is the path where they bring you when you're dead. Not really, because the story is exactly the same. What I'm gonna be doing is moving on to the remake of Alone in the Dark. On that one, I will play both stories because they are actually different. Oh no! Lol, what a stupid way to go. I fell and died, that was ridiculous. Okay, he's dead. No, 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 no. Oh, I screwed up really badly this one. Let's see if I can throw it from here. Okay, now I need to use a revolver. I will play the rest of the classic games, but after the remake of this one, because I want to play the old and the remake back to back for comparison purposes. I want to see what's different in the remake. So this time I took a beating from the deep one. Need to be very careful here. The perspective is pretty awful. The good news is that once you throw the lamp onto the tree, there are no more monsters. So... Wait, was this supposed to come this way? Okay, it worked. So yeah, the second game comes after the remake of the first one. Because I don't know if the remake does anything with the later entries. I think it's just based on the first one. Oof. I am so beaten up that falling is going to kill me. Let's try not doing that. Wait. Am I supposed to go to that one? Oh, yes. Okay. I think I'm a dummy. I think, yeah, it is. this door could be opened. Huh. And it takes to the dark passage, right? Yeah. Well, never mind. I did it the hard way. Have you played the remake of the game? And here we are at the cellar that we opened earlier. Even the rats are gone. Oh, I see. I haven't seen anything about it. I wanted it to be a blind playthrough. And now we can leave the house. You know what? Before I go, I am going to take the rifle with me. Because why not? Good riddance. Apparently so. Convenient timing. And that was the original Alone in the Dark. Not much of an ending, huh? It's fascinating how drastically perception changes over time. Today the models look goofy, the animations get the chuckle out of us. But back then, this was state-of-the-art immersion. It blew our minds, especially for me, coming from Mega Man 2 on the NES. PC games like these, Wolfenstein 3D and X-Wing made me fall in love with video games, and will forever have a place in my heart. I hope you had a good time, and see you next time.